Hi, I'm Jay.
I'm Mike, and we decided to make another Wii U video. After editing the video together, we realized that...
We didn't. We realized that I was going to do my own.
Yeah.
We always knew that.
We always knew that, but they don't know that yet.
Oh. Hi.
Okay.
Friends.
Start over again.
No, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so
friends.
We decided to do another Nintendo Wii U video that's fully fleshed out. And we're going to try to... What, you don't like that terminology?
I'm going to flesh you out later.
I'm going to fleshlight you.
So here, let's do this.
I'm trying.
Okay?
I'm trying to do this.
Let's do it now. Go.
Okay, so we're basically going to tell all the details that you know from how many hours did you play?
Three.
So 3 hours Jason played the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah.
With Kat. And you've seen that video. If you're not, link in the underbar, check that video out.
Yeah, Kat, who cares? Let's
But
get
this
real.
is the full... long version of what happened.
This is the long, hard, swift, detailed erection version. Let's do it.
This is the Jay Hooft version.
Thank you very much.
There might be no climax.
It might be an hour.
It might be an hour.
Well, I don't climax.
And
usually the women do first.
We might be crying by the end.
I'm crying now.
So Jay, first of all, let's cover, we visually showed it, but what games were there?
Every single one that was at E3. So I'm not going to get into it, but all of them.
Okay,
so every one of them.
I read the comments before this, and people were like, Pikmin 3. Did you play Pikmin 3?
I played every single one of them.
How is Pikmin 3?
So, you want to start with the games then, okay.
Yeah.
Pikmin 3 is obviously a lot like the last two Pikmins. There's
Yeah.
not much you can change in that game, obviously. Except for the fact that the graphics are now in HD. Now, they're not realistic HD graphics, they're realistic, I mean, they're Nintendo's version of HD graphics. So
that doesn't sound good.
Well, no, what I mean by that is it's almost like seeing a Pixar film.
Okay.
You know when you saw like Mario 64, when it went from obviously the side-scrolling to the 3D, that was like seeing animation go to Pixar. Remember that moment when you saw Toy Story and you were like, whoa, 3D world?
Yeah.
It's not like
you know what
that.
I said? I could do that.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. It's not like, oh my god, but it's nice to just be able to see Nintendo go to basically their artistic, sort of their own artistic worlds that we haven't seen in HD.
Right.
So it's like seeing Mario Galaxy, but in HD. You know it would look just really, really pretty.
Right.
It would be almost like a Pixar film because Nintendo is really, you can't see that, but
no, it's too high.
It's about all these characters in the world they live in, and it's not just about graphics. It's about bringing that world to life. So in Pikmin 3, the water looks spectacular. All of the Pikmin look extremely cute, and the motion is very fluent. Is that the word? Fluid? It's very fluid. And everything you notice, because of the first time you've seen it in an HD system, everything just looks sort of, it has this motion to it.
So you like Pikmin?
Very sensual.
What you're trying to say
now,
is you really like Pikmin 3.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is that it's not something that is going to blow your mind in terms of graphics.
Okay.
You've got to look at it in terms of, it's not this horsepower that's going to drive this system.
Not this horse shit.
Yeah, it's not the horsepower that's going to drive the sales of this game.
Yeah.
It's the actual... It's the feeling, the style you get of playing it. It's the same thing as like watching Alien versus Aliens 4. You know, in the first Alien, there's this amazing style to it.
Okay, well,
but it's made by an amazing director, right?
Right.
Now, that's what you see here. You see that somebody who knows what they're doing in the world of fantasy is doing a great job.
We should make a correction though. Now we're on graphics. In the last video, we said that it was 1080p, but that's not true. It's 720p, the Wii U games.
Yeah.
So we have to reiterate what you said.
So basically, yeah, whatever.
Because, well, I asked you, was it a true 1080p? And you said yes, it was true 1080p, but that's not true.
What happened was all the televisions had little signs on them.
Yeah. And
it said 1080p.
Right.
What those were the stickers from the television.
Right, so to make it perfectly clear, the launch titles for Nintendo Wii U, correct me if I'm wrong, will be 720p, but eventually...
It'll be the same thing as what's out now.
Same thing as right out now, but eventually it will be 1080p for games.
Yes.
Right.
So
not the launch titles though.
But then again, we're talking about graphics, which is here nor there.
Right, but because it's a next-gen console, that's what's expected.
Not really.
It's got to be the same or better.
Well, it's the same, so good.
Right, it's the same, but
it is better too. But we haven't seen it yet, so moving on.
And also, next question is. People are all...
Well, hang on a second. The gameplay for it, though, little upset because you use a tablet just to look at the map.
So they don't use it to its full potential.
Well, no, I'm sure they're hiding little secrets there.
Yeah.
But you could only touch it and move the map around. And I was actually using an old Wiimote.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear for a lot of multi-platform games.
Well,
Nintendo Wii U.
I think
it won't use.
Well, yeah, I think the point of the Nintendo Wii U is that it uses everything. It doesn't use the tablet. It uses actually the Wiimote, the tablet, and the Pro Controller, and it uses them in unison.
Yeah.
And it's going to end up using the 3DS.
Now,
so,
as gamers, do you find that a cool idea or annoying?
Well, if you look at any other system, they have all of these different peripherals, but this I think is more designed to, hey, you got Resident Evil 6 and it's a hardcore game, use the Pro Controller and the tablet as your map. So you still use those two, but it does bring something new because now you have this little tablet you interact with your everything on the tablet. But it also says, hey, there's a Mario game, don't use all that other shit, use the classic controller. Or hey, maybe you're a 5-year-old that just wants to play a Barbie game and the babysitter's
right here.
Yeah. So hey,
secret jet. No.
Exactly. Use the don't use the tablet. You hear what I'm saying?
I know.
So,
I know what you're saying.
It's not like you
go.
go.
I'm asking them too. Like, what do you guys want? Do you think that's okay, or did you just want the one controller?
Well, my opinion is the moment I walked in there, I realized that everything was for everyone.
The Wii Fit. They had.
Yeah, they had everything. It wasn't just like, hey, Connect and the controller, or it wasn't just like a Nintendo PS Move and the controller.
Right.
It was like, it had all of these different sort of connections to play the games, which is unique to Nintendo.
Another thing I wanted to clear up was when I asked Kat, I both asked you what was the worst part of playing the Wii U, and Kat's answer was, and there's a lot of misunderstandings about this, Kat's answer was the Zombi U game. Could you explain what she was talking about, or you have no? Were you?
I don't know. I didn't watch that.
You didn't play the Zombie?
No, I played. I didn't watch what she said.
Okay, but well,
I was in the video. I didn't listen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Kat said Zombie, but do you know why she said that?
Yeah, because ZombiU is based on.
Because she said Batman Arkham City was too loud.
Exactly.
There's got to be more to it than that.
No, it's based on a few different things. I think she was expecting a little bit more from the demo. And there really was only like 3 or 4 zombies in the demo.
Because there's been a lot of questions about that, like what more they want to know more about Zombie U.
So I think everything I know about it is this: it's not just zombies; it's actually paranormal stuff that's happening in the game, and it heavily relies on audio as well. So I think what happened there was we had Batman in our ears, and we couldn't hear what was going on in front of us. So that actually is like, it's like playing Resident Evil on full blast, but then muting it and playing it. It's like two different things. Don't do it, right? So I think what happened was we were forced to play it with no audio, basically. So we didn't get to experience the subtle sounds of, feet and banging and cool shit like that you know is going to be in that cool game. But we didn't get that. So again, it's just not there. It's like playing this game, but not having any cool weapons, just having one weapon trying to beat the whole game.
And it's
not going to happen.
Before we forget again, we'd like to sincerely thank G2PO for providing us this opportunity.
Yeah, actually G2PO sent Kat and I there.
Yeah.
So thanks to everyone.
G2PO.
Everyone check out G2PO.com. It's basically YouTube, but for gamers.
And we upload our videos there as well. So once a video up on YouTube comes, then we have one on GTPO.
So I'll give my opinion really quick on Zombie U. I think that it has a lot of potential to be that hardcore game that we wanted. But unfortunately, again, I can't really speak too much on the survival horror aspect of it because I didn't get that audio experience that I was expecting to get. But I did get the gameplay experience that I was expecting to get. And I can tell you that I wasn't blown away again because I think it was just a tech demo to show, hey, these are the ideas, boom, 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 but we're going to put them in a game.
I was a little confused. I wanted to ask you because in the footage that you shot, the Zombie U game footage, the character picks up what it looks like an iPad / a Wii U gamepad in the game.
No, he picks up a tablet.
What is that? Is it the actual Wii U? Because I couldn't make it out.
No, it is.
So in the game is the actual Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah, it's sort of like I think they did that to bring you into the fantasy world. So it's
why would you want? Like, what do you pick it up and what do you do with it in the game?
Well,
I don't understand.
It's the idea is this is a real object in the real world. So it's like you use it, it actually senses zombies, and it tells when to not go in a room and stuff like that. So in the game, he's looking at it too.
Yeah.
So it's an object that's what's kind of cool about it.
And it goes in third person.
Yeah, because you're actually looking at the controller at that.
So it's kind of a mind screw, because you're looking at the person who's looking at the Wii U gamepad, and you're looking at the Wii U game.
Well, yeah, but No, but you're the character.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm not
that,
saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just trying to explain it. You're the character, and in the game you pick it up and look at it. But when he's looking at it, that's your signal to look at yours in real life. Like, hey, don't look at the screen. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's not confusing at all. It is actually. I'm not going to call it a gimmick, but it is kind of a gimmick in the game where you have to look at the screen and look around and move your inventory. And when you're doing that, zombies can attack you, and that's part of the horror of the game.
Do you think Nintendo exclusive Wii U games that they'll have the Wii U gamepad referenced in the game like they did in Zombi U?
Yeah.
You think in Mario you'll actually see the tablet and you pick it off the coffee table or something?
100%. I think that if they do like Mario Galaxy HD, I think Mario will have the tablet and it'll be like some sort of device he uses. I think that would be cool.
Another thing we didn't cover is in the ads for Nintendo Wii U, when it was first announced, they show you using the camera and it coincides with what you see on the screen. You put it in front of your face, right? Like you catch the baseball or shooting the target. Did you get a chance to do anything like that?
Yeah, the Batman game does that with the Batarang. So you actually hold it up and you get to see the Batarang move through the screen.
Now I actually cut that part out. The Batarang was actually, you guys were saying it was difficult, and Ubisoft said they were going to fix it.
Yeah, that's just a technical thing that they're working on. I mean, these are all tech demos. I have to push the point. These are tech demos. It's not like this is what's going to be released. It's sort of like, hey, these are what we're working on, and some of the things might not work well, but it's going to work.
Right.
So,
but that was the only time you got to use that feature.
No. Obviously, in Zombi U, you use it to scan the room. So you physically have to move and look around the room. So if you hold the controller up the ceiling, you see the ceiling on the controller.
Did you get to see that sniper rifle feature, like where you kind of like zoom in and shoot something?
No, but I did get to see basically the same thing I just explained, where you do zoom around and look at things and scan things by touching the screen. So you go into a room, and what's kind of cool is you look around the room just like you do on the 3DS. Remember Legend of Zelda on the 3DS? Ocarina of Time remake, you use it to shoot the bow.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's the same concept here. So that feature actually works really well.
So let's steer away from the actual Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone's talking about. No one's really focusing, and which kind of pisses me off, no one's focusing on the actual console. And I saw in the footage that you captured, there was some shots of the actual console. They had it basically lock and stock. Like, now I did, because you only see it from the front, and it's basically, it's longer than this. Like if this front.
It's almost double the size of a Wii. It goes
It's like this long, which I thought. Was there anything that you noticed that you could tell us that was unique
these were developer kits, I believe. I don't think these were the actual systems, so it's hard for me to say. I could say that it was twice the length of a Wii. Also on the back, it looked weird, but I mean there was different plugs for things I didn't even know what they were. But as for the system itself, I could say that if you get the black version, I think it'll fit into your home entertainment system quite nicely.
Was it noisy? Could you hear the fans? Or
No, there was nothing like that. It was impossible to hear that.
Because all the music going on?
Yeah, there was...
Were you able to touch it? Like, was it hot? Was it...
No, there was nothing I could just... it just literally looks like a brick. It's just this white brick that sits there. It doesn't do anything special. The sensor bar still plugs in the same way as it did before. The Wiimotes still plug in the same way they would to use like the nunchuck. There was nothing like special with the system.
Do you think they did it what they did last generation with lesser parts?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you see anything recognizable?
Well,
like aside of a Wii?
No, the system itself looks like a Wii.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the parts in there are the same.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it looks, I mean, there's the DVD slot drive. It looks pretty like a sleek design. Like, just looks like a little box.
It's a little rounded at the front, so it's a little nice. You could only put it, you can only put it flat because they didn't want it to get mixed up with the Wii. So you can't put it sideways, so it's flat only.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
There's not much to be said about this.
I guess now I know why no one talks about the actual console.
Because there's nothing to say. Really.
We don't even.
It's the tablet that.
Do we know the specs? We don't know the specs. Do we?
Well, we do. Yeah, we can list them later or some shit. But again, that doesn't matter to me really. I just wanted to know if the games were good.
Right.
So
sorry. Back to graphics. Was there anything that you saw that you were like, whoa, looks better than anything I've seen? Or was it just on par with everything that's out?
Well, it's sort of like this. It's like when you first got the NES, you go, oh my god, amazing. Then you get the 64 and you go, oh my god, or Super Nintendo, oh my god, Super Nintendo, oh my god, GameCube, oh, it's getting better. Wii, oh, it's getting better.
Oh, it's the same.
And now it's this huge leap because it goes from 480 all the way to 720. That's a huge leap considering that they've never been in HD. So to see games like Nintendo Land, the game itself, I will admit, actually has some fun aspects to it, but it's obviously a tech demo. But it's way better than Wii Sports. Remember when we got Wii Sports, we played it and that's it?
Yeah, are you talking about graphically? Or
no, I'm talking about just fun level. In this, though, this is a little bit different. This is not just Wii Sports, go into all the different franchises, play all the different technical demos. It is a little bit more than that, but it's not a full Nintendo game from what I've seen. Then again, I don't know what's hidden in that game. But what I was getting, my point is, you're saying, is there anything that kind of blew me away? To see basically what looked like Skyward Sword in HD, to see that world of Zelda actually come to life in HD, like the water, the bad guys coming out from behind things, and the focal distance that they can do with the system now, there's something really cool about that. Again, it's like looking at if Pixar made a Zelda game.
But was there anything like, remember like,
well, absolutely.
Going back to like Super Nintendo and like the launch titles for those, or like even for people who remember Xbox 360, who were alive.
Exactly.
Like Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark was an Xbox 360, but it looked amazing, like to our perspective, because we didn't see HD.
Again, that's where this system is not. There's nothing on it where I'm looking and saying this is the next gen.
There's no visual wow factor.
Well, I guess there is, but it's not graphics. It's art design. It's in HD now. It's not like, hey, look at how realistic this can be. It's actually, hey, look at how unique this can be.
Do you think
that's my new quote, by the way? I'm putting that on that's a good quote.
What? How unique this is going to be?
Hey, it's not. No, next gen is not about how realistic games can be. It's about how unique a game can be.
Okay, but do you think graphic horrors will just be like?
I don't give a shit about them.
But do you think it'll?
I don't care. No, I don't
think graphic horrors will, because there are graphic horrors, they won't buy the Nintendo Wii U.
No, I think that anyone that says I'm not buying a Wii U because it won't look as good as a PS4 is out of their mind.
Right.
There's a lot to be had here. Yes, there's some limitations in the hardcore audience here. There's some limitations in like what the hell's going on that end. Like we don't know. Why wasn't Assassin's Creed 3 shown? Certain aspects of hardcore audience needs to see certain things come to life before they'll go buy the system.
I think in a perfect world they'd want to see like Crysis 3 running on the Wii U or something like that.
And all of these companies have said, hey, these things run on here and they run great. It's the problem is we haven't seen it.
Right.
Show us that. But that's the argument of a nerd sitting in the basement crying about realistic because the problem is he doesn't want to go out into the real world and see it. He wants it to be brought to him. That's not why I want to play Nintendo. I want to go into Nintendo games thinking I can't go outside and experience Mario Galaxy in HD or a new Zelda game in HD or a new Metroid game. I can't experience those games because they don't exist. If I wanted to play like a tactical shooter realistic, I could go join the army and get shot in the face. You know what I mean?
Think that's an extreme.
I know it's an extreme, but my point is, if I wanted to steal a car, drive over a hooker, I could go do that. But if I wanted to go to Super Mario Land and visit the Mushroom Kingdom, I can't do that.
Right, but
that's like watching WALL-E. That's an adventure. That's excitement. That's bringing your childhood back.
But isn't that a bit of adulthood? That's a bit of a cop.
No, it isn't.
Don't you think though?
No, I think Nintendo's stepping up their graphic game, and they're actually turning all of their classic franchises into these HD, sort of like Pixar. You can actually see the emotions on these characters like you could never do in the past.
Well, I mean, they're stepping up their graphic game, but to the competitors, they're not stepping up.
Well, we don't have proof of that yet. That's the problem. Batman looks just as good as the Xbox. I could not look at it and go, oh, I see how it's not as good.
But I think
I would have to like dissect it to see it.
I think people are disappointed that it's not a matter of it looks the same. It's got to look better. What's the point of me? Because graphic cores, what's the point of buying a Wii U?
That's them.
I know, but
that's your argument right now?
No, that's not my argument.
I know, but I'm saying your argument is if you're a graphic core, you need it to be better.
Yeah.
It has the potential to be better, but we haven't seen it. And that's when Nintendo has failed yet again. And I think that, you know, recent statements from Nintendo, I think that the hardcore audience and Nintendo are not on the same page here. I think that Nintendo's trying to say, hey, something unique can happen with this system, but you have to believe in the characters, you have to believe in the game ideas that we have. Unfortunately, they haven't said also, by the way, all those third-party companies, they are going to release games over here. You know what I mean? Like the new Aliens game looks incredible, but will it look that good on the Wii U or better? Who knows? I don't know. So that's one problem with the whole E3 lineup.
Because if they did, there'd be less of a discussion here.
Yeah, if they came right out and said, hey, here's Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Here's...
Because if you worked for Nintendo, let me ask you this. If you worked for Nintendo, wouldn't that be your strategy? Wouldn't you go, okay, we have this, we have this, we have this?
No, I don't think so.
But when you just want to prove them wrong, look, we can play GTA 5, this looks better than anything.
I think they will. I think they will.
But it's so frustrating.
Here's the problem with the system.
It's like that cartoon with the frog that dances, but when you have him in the audience, he doesn't dance.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is...
All that frog does is dance.
I hope it does. The problem really is within Nintendo. And again, I'm going to state this and probably take a lot of shit from the Nintendo fanboys, but Iwata has got to go. He's old.
Yeah.
Nothing against him, but they need to bring somebody in there who actually understands not just the business on the casual side.
Okay.
He understands it in hardcore terms, but he doesn't want to fold his cards.
So let's make this interesting for them. Okay? Let's have a fantasy. Iwata gets fired, Jay Hooft gets hired, they all come into this room. Jay, what do?
We put a huge amount of money into the marketing, and we have two different marketing teams. We cut it in half. We go, here's the half that's casual games, so go do your Wii Fit bullshit over here. Us big boys, we're going to go work with Capcom on Resident Evil 6 Special Edition that's only exclusive to this with extra content. I'm going to go to Rockstar and offer them $50 million for exclusive rights to Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm going to go to Call of Duty Activision. I'm going to say, listen, I want to set up some sort of tournament. I'm going to go to all of these different companies that I know are going to draw the hardcore audience, and I'm going to bring them back to Nintendo where they first originally, played video games.
And what would you do at E3 differently? Well, how would you present this new stuff?
It's as simple as what Sony did. Sony did the best E3 I think they've ever done.
Just have 10 things and just
when
no
Phil
bullshit.
came out and said, listen, there's no bullshit, here's 10 things. Nintendo should have came out and said, listen guys, we have this, this, and this, and we're going to show this, this, and this, and that's it. There's no reason to sit around and go, this is a revolution, this is what... Don't even do that. Just show us what it can do, but don't sit there and go, make a pre-roll video before E3 and explain your little system, like try to cut everyone off. Have some sort of hype built up. Get an excitement announcement. Have a fucking Zelda game ready for launch. Like, why didn't that happen? That's a huge mistake. Super Mario Wii U is a really great game. I played it. But it's not something that's going to sell the system. If there was a Legend of Zelda in HD ready,
like a Mario Galaxy.
A Mario Galaxy.
That would sell.
Exactly. Why isn't it there? That's what I have to question. That's the main question.
That was a little weird.
That is a main question I have is, where is the AAA Nintendo game? Where is it? That's a simple question. This is the first time in the history of Nintendo where they're releasing a Mario game which is based on another Mario game. Like, it's not even a sequel. It's just like parts 2 in HD.
If I had my say, I wouldn't announce a new Nintendo console without a new Mario or Zelda game ready, and a hardcore Call of Duty Crisis 3 game ready. And if they weren't ready, I wouldn't announce the console.
Exactly, and that's a problem.
Because it's just as important.
Any other questions that you can think of we haven't answered yet? Because we've went on for probably 20 minutes now. I think overall I could give my take of the system at this point in time.
I think our last Nintendo Wii U hands-on impressions video, whatever you want to call it, it convinced some people, but I still think there's some people on the fence.
Well, I haven't answered this.
And it's not your job to convince them to buy the Nintendo Wii U console, but I feel like people are missing the point.
What's the Wii U?
What's the point? If you had to put it in a nutshell for someone, what's the point of the Wii U? Because they see this tablet and they're like, Do you think it's just like information overload? Like they just don't. It's kind of like one of those things you just have to try it to know.
Yeah, I'll give you my final opinion on the Wii U right now. Ready?
Okay.
We can keep going on about the PS4 and the Xbox 720, right? And all of us know, everyone watching knows that these guys are going to try to push the horsepower of these systems and make the graphics just unbelievable.
Yeah.
We do know that there will be a place in video games for that stuff.
Well, the Unreal Engine 4.
Exactly.
They keep on saying that it's not going to work on the Wii U, so that's their target, right? PS4 and Xbox 720. They have to accompany the new Unreal Engine.
Exactly. So yeah, we got some stuff that's going to be over there, and graphically is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Now, there's one thing that I have to bring up here is that gamers, not every gamer cares about graphics. Nintendo does not care about graphics. They care about the gameplay first in all of their games, then they pile on the art style.
Do you think majority cares about graphics?
I don't think so. I think
No?
it's probably really close.
So I guess that explains Call of Duty.
Ooh. I don't know.
Well, that's what
I look at Black Ops, the first Black Ops, and I go, this looks incredible. And then you get the graphic cores who are like, this looks like shit.
But,
and I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking
about. But that's a good point, though. Yes, it looks like shit, the graphic cores, but it's the most sold game ever, right?
Exactly.
So that means that the majority don't care about graphics.
The
graphics are bad.
They kind of kick their own asses there. But my point is this. When you develop a game nowadays, it's make or break. It's like Prototype 2 came out, didn't sell as well. That studio, Free Radical's gone.
It's like the only for sure thing is to do a successful
game,
a sequel to a game.
Exactly, and
like a successful franchise, like Mass Effect 4 would be a sure thing. Halo 4 is a sure thing, but like anything else,
that's what I'm talking about.
Like Watch Dogs, what happens if it's not good? They're screwed.
They're in big shit. That's a problem. Like Deus Ex, if that didn't do well, they'd be in shit. Yeah. Like they put a lot of money into that. They'd
even
big
ones
shit.
like THQ, LucasArts, they fail, right?
They're all in deep shit, and this is where I'm going. These games that you guys demand super graphics, but you don't ever complain about the gameplay. No one ever says, hey, the next system better have a new way to play games. No, everyone just says the next system better have graphics that are better than the last gen. That's all the arguments are.
2 more buttons.
Exactly. And I'm a gamer at heart, and I come from I'm a gamer at heart, and I know that the people that are complaining about graphics, I think they have little issues in their heads. They don't realize why they're playing video games. There's something psychologically wrong with those people.
I think their perfect video games are stuff like Heavy Rain, like these.
Well, no, okay, there's a crowd for that, but I'm talking about these Call of Duty fanboy who complains about Black Ops not looking spectacular. Something's wrong with that person because they're not playing games to play video games. They're trying to gain something. Maybe their mother wasn't there, their father wasn't there.
Don't make it personal.
No, it is a personal thing because listen, I got into gaming. And because my dad wasn't in my life, my mom goes, here's some games, and she realized I was good at them. Yeah. And the reason I really, really, really enjoyed video games was because I was really good at them, and when I beat a level that was really hard, I would show my mother, and she would know that it was, she didn't know what the hell was going on, but she would know that I did something that I normally could not do.
But what does that have to do with graphics?
But hang on, it goes to that. Well, it doesn't go to that, but it goes to gamers.
Right. So it might a little retraction there.
A little retraction about that, but I'm talking about gamers at heart play video games to challenge themselves.
Right. And you're saying that people...
Call of Duty is about going online, challenging other people, and calling them faggots.
No, well, for some people, it's also being the best of the best.
Yeah, but I'm going to be, I don't use that term regularly, but
well, when you see me,
to you I do. But
actually, you do it plural. Too.
I mean,
the
problem is when I go on Call of Duty online, every single time, all it is, hey, you're a faggot, you're a faggot. I'm gonna kick your ass, you're gay, blah blah. Your mom, I fucked her. I don't want to play that shit anymore. That's not video games. That's bullshit. Why do I want to play that?
Depends which crowd you're with.
Anyways, my point being is this: Nintendo, you look at the system. And there's so many different ways to play these games, and the system itself is more powerful than the Xbox and PS3.
Oh, was there a headset?
What do you mean?
For the Nintendo Wii U?
Well, no, there's unannounced peripherals that they haven't announced yet.
Okay.
So that's coming. But point being is, yes, the controller does have a mic in it.
Okay.
And and it has video in it. So you can do video. So hopefully maybe it's just built right into it and you don't even need microphones.
Probably not.
Probably, but there's a headphone jack there.
Okay.
So you just plug it in, you got it. You don't have to go and buy it.
But you're telling me that it's free, right? The online.
Yeah, online's going to be free. Now, yes, basically when it comes to next gen, we don't know what's going to happen. How many studios will even exist? I know Nintendo will exist because they're not making games that are based on graphics. They're making games that are based on being unique and fun to play. So no one can deny the fact that if you pick up, even though it's on the Wii, if you pick up Super Mario Galaxy 2, you're going to have fun. It's a unique game and it's fun.
Except a Grumpy McGrump.
Yeah.
Or like a graphic.
But you'll agree to that.
Oh, I love Mario Galaxy 2 is my favorite Mario other than Mario 3.
Exactly. So, I mean, you pick up a Zelda game, and even though it's a Zelda game, like Twilight Princess wasn't the best Zelda game, but you still have fun. It's still like an adventure. You go out and have fun.
Skyward Sword was better.
Yes, but my point being is it's an adventure, you have fun. You pick up the Donkey Kong, it's fun. You pick up the new Mario game, it's fun.
So you're saying that's always been Nintendo's strategy.
Yes. Now, they're carrying that over to the system, except they have a Pro controller, which caters to the hardcore fans.
And did you try it? That's something I forgot to ask.
Absolutely not. It wasn't there.
Okay.
So, point being is, they have that interaction with the system. So, and it's more powerful than the current generation right now. So anyone that's saying like, oh, it's not good, I wait for PS4, there's not going to be a huge difference here. It's not like we're going to see the top of the line Wii U game and the top of the line PS4 game and be able to say like, oh, I want to play that because the reflection looks better. Like, who cares about stupid little trivial things like that? Yes, for games that are meant to be played like that, like Watch Dogs, that looked incredible. So incredible, you don't need Mario to be able to have like, you don't look into the water and have reflections and driving like, classic, Super Mario Kart cars and all
be nice
shiny.
To have a Mario and Crytek Engine 3. That'd be nice.
Well, it would look fucking incredible. But my point is, we don't need it.
No, we don't need it.
So people are saying, why isn't it hardcore? Well, you got a 360 and you got a PS3 there.
Yeah.
Go play it. Go play it until your PS4 comes out.
And there's cloud gaming, the video that I did before this, but we can cut that out if you didn't. But
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. So.
But what was I gonna ask? Oh, fuck. It's important.
So, anyways, I noticed the 3 inputs into the system: casual, hardcore. And I realized all of a sudden that all of them work together. You can actually use all of them. So you can interact with the game with all of them.
Right.
So you can
at the same time?
Yeah, for sure. There was no demos of that, but I know that's possible.
Right.
So with this new Super Mario U game, you can use the Pro controller if you have one lying around. But say you're a casual gamer, you can use the Wiimote. If you want to use a tablet, you can use that for the multiplayer. There's something.
Use the Wii Fit? You're weird.
Well, yeah, you probably could use the Wii Fit, but the other thing I wanted to say about the system was I'm very upset about this because Nintendo had an option here in the beginning. They had their whole Mii's system in place from the Wii U, or the Wii, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if Nintendo just sliced it down the middle and said, listen, I know that maybe some adults will play this game, or play our system, and kids as well. Why didn't they just develop 2 systems? When you turn on the console, it says, do you want to play with the adults or the kids?
Like Netflix,
set it up.
does it?
Yeah. You know, like Netflix, kids or adult.
Yeah.
What if you can all of a sudden go to the adult version and they took out all that kiddish shit and you could build avatars just like Xbox 360 and it would look cool? Why didn't that happen? That's my problem. That's a problem I have there, right?
Yeah. Do you think?
Because Xbox has a nice sort of balance. Their avatars are sort of childish, but they look cool.
Yeah, you could buy the skins
exactly.
and suits for them.
Nintendo's is HD, but we're talking about like a fucking polygon jumping around on the screen. It's silly.
Now, speaking of...
Well, hang on, my last
But
thing.
who cares about graphics?
No, but no, what I'm talking about is not... I'm not talking about the graphics. I'm talking about the art design in it. All they use is a fucking a cylinder and put a ball on the head with 2 arms. Like, it's in HD, but it's the simplest 3D animation you've ever seen.
No,
that's my problem.
Even though graphics don't matter, do you think it's fair to say that yes, when at launch they'll have all these games and they'll look just like as good as a PS3 game? Or
yeah, maybe maybe a little bit better.
A little better. But
okay.
Was it fair to say that 6 months after launch of Nintendo Wii U, we'll start to see a little hint of what it can handle?
Oh, for sure. I think that over development periods, the developers really learn how to use the system. So, obviously, a Mario game on the launch versus the last Mario game on the system always does look better.
So, is it safe to say that there's going to be a little, maybe like a year-long period, or maybe a year and a half, where Nintendo Wii U's got these amazing looking games, and they're fun, and people are still waiting for the PS4, Xbox 720?
Yes.
I think that's what they're counting on?
No, here's what they're counting on.
On their business strategy?
What they're counting on is that everybody that bought a Wii buys this. So listen, what happened is we were recording and things broke.
Yeah.
So let's just shut up now.
We gotta tell them to like the video because you've been working on this in your mind for the past 5 days how to do this, and then I think you finally said, let's just do it.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is just close it all off. I'm going to do 2 endings here. Basically, I'm going to do an ending for the hardcore audience and an ending for the people who grew up with Nintendo. First up is the hardcore audience. You guys that are complaining about graphics have to realize that once we hit a certain peak, there's nowhere else to go, and it's going to go backwards into the fantasy worlds. You hear what I'm saying?
It's like pissing on an electrical fence.
Exactly. Do you realize that once a game becomes just one-to-one, like realistic, you look at it and it's real?
I would get motion sickness.
Well, not only that, but once that happens, guess what's going to happen? People are going to say, well, now I want it to be a fantasy world. Because it looks realistic, like, it looks perfect, but nothing interesting. I can go outside and see this.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, this game cost, $100 million to make. You see what I'm getting at here? Games cannot cost.
You're like, it looks amazing, but
it's real.
It's not fun.
Exactly. So, point being, you don't need a game to look realistic. It can look, like art design can be really, really good. Graphics can be very sharp. Rayman Legends, hint, hint. It can be everything. It can be a Pixar film. It can capture your imagination. It doesn't need to be realistic.
We can dream. That's all we're asking is you can dream.
So if you can dream like a Pixar film, you can believe in Nintendo.
So what is the best part of the Wii U? I've asked this to you before.
So the best part...
Do you have a different answer this time or the same?
Well, the best part is definitely the fact that if I feel like I don't want to use the tablet, I'm going to pick up the controller over here and just use that.
So there you go.
If I don't want to use the Wiimote...
I can't wait for the help that I'm going to get on the screen because I suck at games. I can just look at the little hints that people left behind. Right on the screen, I can look online.
So that's for the hardcore guys. I'm just telling you, listen, there's going to be games coming out that you guys will want to play. I can see it already, and I can see that the 60 frames per second brings something to it. Like, brings something that we haven't felt very much of. You know what I mean? Like Battlefield 3 Online, what is it? Like it drops 24 frames sometimes?
Well, yeah, Call of Duty is 60, always has been.
Okay, that's 60, but point being is not all of them have been 60 frames.
No, God no.
And
Skyrim
again, a Mario game in full 1080p hopefully, 60 frames per second, I don't know about you, but that's amazing. That's going to be amazing. That really is going to be like a visually stunning experience because I don't think people are realizing that these characters that we've grown to love, all these Nintendo characters, there's going to be so much detail put into their actual facial movements. Things that Nintendo have never worked on. Nintendo used to draw a little face on the 3D model for the 64 and that was the mouth. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, like that, classic.
It makes no sense what he's wearing too, but there's a story behind that.
Yeah, so now, going to the casual guys, the guys that grew up, I'm talking about, who can I say here? Me, for sure. I don't know about you. I don't know if you like the current gen more than you like retro games. What?
Oh, I like current gen more.
Okay, so I think I bonded with my NES because it was my father. His father brought him games. My father brought me nothing. And I was alone.
What did I brought you?
Alone. I like it. You laugh at how I grew up poor and you were rich, and your mom made fun of me once.
Because I'm just rolling in these golden coins, and I have dogs that get me things. And I'm
Like, he grew up on like a fucking farm, basically, a farmhouse with a shack that held dogs in the back, a pool, and then his mom like went nuts one day and said, "I want to build the biggest fucking patio that man has ever seen." She did it.
Well, karma.
And then
look at you now.
And then his mom goes to me and goes, "Hey, for people on a budget, that's just how it is." And she was talking about my mother.
She didn't say that.
Yeah.
She goes, "It's tough to be on a budget."
Yeah, and she was a direct knock at my family.
Right, but it was a knock and it was rude, but she was right. It is hard to be on a budget.
She was right.
It is hard to be.
All right.
Not right about you.
Point being is, I grew up poor.
Yeah.
You didn't.
No, you make me sound like I was a millionaire.
Well, if this was the OC, you'd be in it.
No,
you'd be in the show.
not nearly. I was.
Oh, get real.
Okay.
The land that your parents live on is worth millions. Get
My
real.
dad.
Millions.
When I was growing up, my dad earned $80,000 a year annually.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea. That's not completely rich. That's nothing.
$80,000
a year. That's what he made.
The house.
My mom didn't work.
How much is the house and the land worth?
Well, everyone's house is worth.
Oh, millions.
But everyone who owns a house has that.
Millions. Okay, so getting back to the argument here, I'm better than you because I come from a tougher background and I've overcome a lot. You've done nothing with your life.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So
I guess karma does pay.
Yeah, I've
Look
went
at you
really
now,
far.
look at me.
Yeah.
Karma pays.
He can't go to work on time because he can barely drag his fat fucking carcass out of bed to get to work.
Yeah.
Hates his job. Hates his coworkers.
I love them all.
Yeah.
They're like my friends.
So, point being here is the casual audience who grew up with a Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, even the 64 and onward there, those people, I think, really need to pay attention to what Nintendo's trying to get at here. Nintendo hasn't done a good job of explaining what they're trying to get at, but that's why I made this video. Not to defend Nintendo, because Nintendo is truly fucked up on a bunch of stuff on this system, but the system itself, with all of the different peripherals to play the games, plus the graphic horsepower, I think it's going to equal something unique that we're not going to be able to see until the PS4 comes out, or even the Xbox 720. I don't know. Smart Glass is not working on the same system as the Wii U. Basically, Smart Glass works over Wi-Fi, and we both know that... Well, hang on, that Wi-Fi doesn't go that fast. So to transfer huge files is not going to work that well. It's not like one-to-one. You'd have to wait for it to load to the tablet, and then wait, and then look at it.
It's not going to be huge files.
No, well, exactly. Now that's why the Wii U's different here,
Right.
because it's not sending over this stuff. It's just mirroring it off the system.
Well, that's what Smart Glass is going to do.
Yeah, except it's over Wi-Fi.
Right, but it's what I'm saying is when you transfer large files over,
Yes,
yeah, you have
but-
a point, but it's not going to be transferring large files.
Well, you don't know. They haven't explained that.
It's
They don't know.
but
Is it going to?
No, but it doesn't need to. That's my point. The Wii U is not going to do it, so the Smart Glass doesn't need to do it. That's my point. I don't know.
Yeah, but
did you do your two endings? You're going way off topic.
But Wii U.
Okay, but did you?
So that's it.
No, did you do your hardcore ending?
Yeah, I did the hardcore ending, and now the casual ending, I've done it. So basically, anyone that grew up playing Nintendo is going to love this system. There's nothing else to say except believe in what Nintendo's doing there.
Yeah.
If you want to complain about online, sure, Nintendo's fucked up on that. If you want to complain about the hardcore games not being there, it seems like Nintendo's messed up again on hardcore, but if you're going to play, you can't see this, but if you're going to play all of the classic Nintendo games, this is the system to play it on, like of all time. There's nowhere else do you want to play Nintendo games, but on this is the only time you're going to see for the first time.
Nowhere else you're going to want to play Nintendo games but this?
Well, no, because if you're going to play the classic Nintendo game,
Yeah.
unless you own all the old systems,
Yeah.
this thing's amazing because you can go into your bedroom and play Mario on the screen.
I thought you meant like.
No,
It's the
no.
only place you can play Nintendo games.
Well, no, I think it will
Well,
be.
it is
It'll
the
be
only
the.
place.
Well, no, I think that's another thing that they have not pushed.
Okay, well, I have a last question. How do you feel about the HD DVD drive in the Nintendo Wii U?
I don't care what.
It's in there.
What do you mean?
Fucked up.
Hey, you guys want to know if we, do you want us to do...
do you want to follow us on Twitter?
Do you?
Follow us on Twitter.
Bird. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching this 15-hour video.
Thank you.
Thank you.